And welcome to the Marcus and Mike Show, guys. I am Mike. My man over here to the left is Marcus. Marcus, how you doing today, bud?
Doing pretty good. What's going on, Michael?
I'm doing fantastic. We are working out these audio tech issues that we've been having lately. They pushed an update, and I can't figure it out, and it's
Right.
driving me crazy. But speaking of can't figuring stuff out, Kansas City Royals, they haven't been able to figure stuff out since about 2015 when they won the World Series. Now
Right.
the team is up for sale. It has been reported that a Kansas City investor, business owner, his name slipped out of my mind, is Sean something, but he has
Uh-huh.
offered $1 billion to buy the franchise. Is this enough money to buy the Royals? Too much money, or right in the ballpark?
I don't know enough about Major League Baseball teams to know. I know the Yankees are worth a lot. I mean, listen, it's a it's a professional sports franchise that's not far removed from winning a pennant and a title. Like
Right.
they're worth $1 billion. I don't care what their record is. This is Kansas City Royals. You know, this is George Brett's, 1985 in the 80s. I mean, this is the real deal. Sorry, my house line's ringing. I can't get to it, but um, no, it's easily worth $1 billion. Kansas City's a big city. It's a nice city. Absolutely, they're worth $1 billion, if not more. And like I said, I don't care what their record is. So yes, absolutely. Is it worth it? Absolutely. If I had $1 billion, I'd love to own the Royals too.
Yeah, I would jokingly like this came across my phone last night about 7 o'clock at night. Me and my wife were watching The Bachelorette, which is kind of our show. So don't dog me on some Bachelorette, but man,
Oh Lord.
I love me some Bachelorette, man. But
Oh yeah.
I'm like, hey, honey, do you want to sell the house, the kids, the car, the dogs?
Yeah.
Uh, Maybe go rob a bank or two and try to buy the Kansas City
Right.
like Royals, like that would be any
Yeah.
like sports fan dream is to own like a sports team. So
Right. Oh
a
yeah.
so like if you can get a group of like 12 people involved and like pull them together and like you can buy a sports team, you should jump
Right.
on that 100%. I mean like maybe this is what the Royals need. Think about this. The Lakers were not very good when Jerry Buss purchased the Los
Right.
Angeles Lakers.
Right.
Maybe this is just what they need to really spice up the baseball do something. So
Right.
because like right now they are in complete rebuild mode. They've traded off all their good assets. Their names are slipping my mind, but like Hosmer and all those guys, they've all gone to
Yeah.
different teams,
Right.
and they're doing exactly what they did in early 2006. They traded everybody away. They got all this young talent, all these young assets, and then boom, they built within, just like what your Texas or just like what the Houston Astros did.
Right.
The Texas Rangers are like doing all these small market teams, so they're definitely in the right path. So maybe just an owner wants to
Right.
speed up the process just a tad bit. As far as $1 billion goes, I don't know about that because Kansas City is considered a quote mid team. So like you
Right.
aren't in like New York or Texas or LA or any of those cities. So
Yeah.
like we don't get a lot of media coverage by any means. So just to take in the Billy, like the Dallas Cowboys are worth what $5 billion. Like I think it was they're the most worthiest team. The
Right.
Yankees were like 3 or 2 billion. I can't remember
Right.
for sure. So as a $1 billion price tag is kind of pricey, I think. So drop that down to maybe I don't know 800 maybe.
Yeah. I think every professional sports team, Michael, is probably $1 billion, even the worst
Right.
ones. That's the way it is. I mean, Steve Ballmer bought the Los Angeles Clippers for $2 billion. About 5 years ago, whatever. So, I mean, this is the going rate, dude. $1 billion is not. It's not
Pocket change,
crazy as
right?
that sounds.
Pocket change.
As crazy as that sounds for a franchise, that's you know, that's very doable. I mean, that's very, very, very doable. I mean, you have 10 investors that have $100 million. There's your Kansas City Royals 10 owners.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
that makes a great point. So, I mean, if anybody is willing to put in the work to become a great owner, here's your chance to buy a team. Kansas City Royals
Yeah.
are for sale. So, speaking of for sale, I guess you could say Andrew Luck. News is still out there. He is hurt, or he's hurt by the fans booing him as they come off the field. They're saying he has other poised to maybe possibly join the
Right.
XFL. He could have went on the pup list, and he could have came back week 8 if he was really interested in playing or like
Right.
all like just like all this stuff. So my question to you right off the bat is, should as a fan should you feel disrespected by Andrew Luck's decision to quit the NFL 2 weeks before the season starts?
Absolutely not. The guy can retire whenever he wants. I think he's sick of the rehab.
Yes.
He's sick of trying to get back, and it's taking the fun away. Yeah, I had Rob Gronkowski. He was crying the other day about how his injuries are affected him, and it's no fun anymore because you have to do all that rehab just to play. Just to get back there. It takes the love away. I think Andrew Luck could come back if he sits out the season. Just sit out the entire season and rehab at your own pace. You're not trying to rehab to get back to September 8th. You're rehabbing to get back to next September 8th, which might be September 9th or whatever.
Right.
So that's possible. So Andrew Luck could be back in a year, or maybe never at all. I mean, a guy like that, as talented as he is, you just don't retire without. And the thought process was already there. He just didn't decide to do this.
Yeah.
And the team knew. Jacoby Brissett said he was talking to him on a daily basis. And then I'll tell you, and I think I said this the last time we talked about it. They held out Jacoby Brissett on the 3rd preseason game altogether, not even getting a series.
Right.
So, and that was before any Andrew Luck news about retirement came up. As soon as the Jacoby Brissett came through the wire about he will not play week 3 preseason, I said right then and there, you know what that told you? Jacoby Brissett is starting week 1 and maybe longer than that.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So I'm not mad at Andrew Luck, man. Retire when you want to, man. I don't care.
Yeah, just to iterate what you said is we did talk about this last Friday. I believe it was, but people are like analyzing further. More stories are coming out, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. So that's why we're still talking about this.
Right.
It's because it is big news. Even for myself, I drafted Andrew Luck on my fantasy team 2 weeks ago, and like now I'm out of starting quarterback, which it sucks, but it is what it is. So with all that being said, I have been in this position before. Meaning like not on the NFL level by like any means, but on the Canadian football level. Preparing your body year in and year out, it is tough. It is hard work to stay in football shape, quote football state. It is hard to wake up in the morning and your knees are killing you at the age of 25. Like it sucks. Like do not get me wrong whatsoever. But the difference between a 30-year-old quarterback that is doing this and his knees hurt still because his heart is still in it 100%. If you are checked out at all, if you're only 90% in, 96% in, you are going to get hurt even more because you just don't have that same passion to come back from those injuries. So take for example, you get done playing a game Sunday night at 9:00 at night. You have to be in the training room at Monday morning at 6 a.m. Because you have this rib that's popping out of your side. You have a lacerated kidney that you have to take care of, and you are expected to perform and to practice over and over and over without any restrictions or fans are mad at you because you're not doing well on their fantasy team or you lost a game or like. Do you realize how hard it is to get up? So yes, I do not fault Andrew Luck for calling it quits. The only thing I fault him of is he should have yes, I agree he was probably in communication with the ownership and general manager and like stuff like that. I wish the general manager would come out and lie and say, yes, Andrew Luck told us back in July that he was contemplating this.
Yeah.
So
you're right.
I would hope.
The only thing that sucks on it's the timing, and I can see why. Like if you're a Colts fan, you're in shock. You're like, what? Because you want to win games. You're like, this is shocking to you. Like this is very. So I can see their frustration. They had a possible
Super Bowl caliber team.
Right. I mean, I wouldn't boo the man, but I would be floored. It would hit me in the gut. But after a few days, you digest it, you get over it, and you're ready. Hey, let's go, Jacoby Brissett. Let's go. Yeah, and that's just the way it is. Yeah.
So the Colts are on the market for a veteran quarterback. We'll see what happens in the next coming days because the season is just 12 days away. So with that being said, we missed yesterday's show. Life happens. It is what it is. So
Right.
we're gonna break down two teams here. If you guys are watching us on the YouTube channel, you'll see the ticker down at the bottom of the screen here. So with that being said, Marcus, the first team we're gonna break down today is going to be the Seattle Seahawks. Uh, they missed the playoffs last year. The offseason was kind of controversial for them. They signed two big contracts. They had Russell, their quarterback,
Russell Wilson. Yep.
$100 million man. They had a
Yeah.
linebacker, Bobby Wagner, signed a $55
Yes.
million deal as well. And then they have nobody else around him. They have a couple rookies and some young talent. So
Yeah.
week number one, they open up at home, taking on the Cincinnati Bengals. Who do you got?
I got Seattle. Seattle will win this game at home. There's no AJ Green on the other side. I think the Bengals are going to be one of those 5-11 or worse teams this year. So yeah, Seattle should win this game.
Yeah, Bengals are going to be pretty horrible without AJ Green. Even if they had AJ Green in this game, I would still pick Seattle to win this game because they do
Right.
have one of the largest stadiums in the
Yeah.
NFL. So that's a win for them as well. Week two, we have them, or they're at Pittsburgh. You have them losing to Pittsburgh. I have them losing to Pittsburgh as well. Week three, at home, take on the Saints. Both of us have them out like as losses. Get us to week four matchup, taking on the Arizona Cardinals at Arizona.
I think they'll lose there at Arizona Cardinals. So
Giving
I, I
them,
think yeah, Arizona should beat them. I'm not a big believer in Seattle anymore. You know, I was when they had the Legion of Boom and all that
yeah,
stuff, and defense, and Russell Wilson just don't make mistakes. Just now it's all on Russell Wilson. Russell Wilson has to become Roger Staubach and John Elway.
yeah, you're
And can he do that? Yes, he can pull games out of his ass, but it's too many. It's going to be too many. It's kind of like a Romo situation. You're gonna ask him to go to the well too many times, and he's gonna come up. He's not gonna come up all the time. Roses, you know what I mean? So yeah, it's all on Russell Wilson's shoulders, and he's gonna fail now a little more because it's more on him and not as good as defense, not as good as players around him.
Yeah, you are 100% correct, and I couldn't say that any better myself. But this is one of the games that he does pull out of his ass. They're going to travel to Arizona, a not very good Arizona team, and a fantasy sleeper, guys. Tyler Lockett is going to have a great game this week versus Arizona. So definitely get him in the starting lineup versus
I like
Arizona.
Tyler Lockett. Yeah.
My Kansas State boy.
Yeah, I like him.
Week number 5, they're back at home, taking on the Rams. Who do you got?
This is a night game. Wow, I think this is Thursday night football. They're at home. I'll take Seattle at home.
Yeah, I have Seattle at home too. Thursday night game. Short week for both. It's been proven that the road team loses 80% of the time. Uh, Giving us a Cleveland Brown matchup here. I know we already picked this one, but I do not have yours marked down on this yet. So let me take a look at what you got. Cleveland Browns.
Yeah, Cleveland should beat them.
Yeah, you have them losing to Cleveland Browns, or I'm sorry,
Yes.
beating. Yes, Browns
Uh,
beating the Seahawks. I should
yeah,
say.
yeah. Seahawks will
That's
lose this one.
my
Yeah.
fault. I had them losing that as well. Giving us the next week matchup, taking on the Ravens at home. Who do you got?
I'll take Seattle with this one. This one will be a pull. This one he'll pull one out his ass on this one. Russell Wilson will beat Baltimore at home.
Yeah, who do I got? I have them beating Baltimore as well. I'm going to ride this Lamar Jackson trash train as long as I can, like until
Yeah.
he proves me otherwise. Haters are going to hate, but prove me wrong. So
I'm halfway with you to the trash thing.
yeah,
Like I'm halfway there. Like you have this Lamar Jackson camp, that says, "Oh man, he's great," and da da da, and then you have one where it's a complete trash. I'm somewhere in that dude. He's not elite. I don't think he'll ever be elite. He's
Yeah.
accuracy issues, and no, much like yourself, he's gonna have to prove it to me.
yeah. People keep emphasizing that he only played 7 games in the regular season this past year, and they had a condensed playbook, and he still led him to the playoffs, and he's going to be that much better. Well, he has to have a condensed playbook because he can't throw the ball downfield. So, but that's a story for a different day.
Let me just say this. I don't pay too much attention to preseason, but on his first drives a couple of times, Michael, he was very remedial in his throws and his accuracy. Just put it to you that way.
Your analysis on that is pretty much
Yeah.
spot on. Get us a next week game at Atlanta. We have them both losing to Atlanta.
Yes.
They're back home, taking on the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. wins for both of us, beating the Bucks. Next week, they're at San Francisco 49ers. You have them losing to San Francisco. I have them beating San Francisco.
And
Caddy Port. Go ahead.
that's a Monday nighter.
Yeah, that's a
Yeah.
big Monday night game
Yeah.
for possibly for the division champion or
Right.
a wild card spot, I should say. Catapulting us into the bye week. Come off the bye week, they're at Philly. We had them both losing to Philly. Getting us the next game that we're going to pick at home, take on the Minnesota Vikings.
I think they'll beat Minnesota. This will be one of their wins. I mean, I don't have them in the playoffs, but yeah, this is one of their wins.
Yeah, I have them beating Minnesota as well, just because they're at home and I have faith in Minnesota to do well. I just don't know
Mhm.
how well they'll be, and they're going to stumble in some of these games.
Right.
Giving us a week 15 matchup on the road, taking on the Rams. Who do you got?
Yeah, this is a night game. This looks like it's a Saturday night, or I'm not sure, but at Rams, no, that's a loss for them.
Yeah, this is a loss as well. This is when the Rams will start to ramp up and really catch their stride and
Yeah.
make that strong division championship push here. Next week they're at Carolina. We have them both losing to Carolina on the road,
Yes.
giving us a Week 16 matchup, taking on the Arizona Cardinals at home.
I'll give them an Arizona Cardinal win. They'll beat Arizona.
Yeah, I had them beating Arizona as well. I think Arizona and Cardinals will be kind of checked out at this point in time, giving us a Week 17 matchup where I have them beating San Francisco and you have them losing to San Francisco, and
Yes.
that gives me a 9-7 record on the season. It gives you
Wow.
a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, a 6-10 season on.
Yeah.
the
Sounds about right.
Almost polar opposites on those picks there, as
Yeah.
far as record wise goes. So any game that really stands out to you that could possibly turn their season around?
I really don't think so. Like I said, I'm not a believer in Seattle. I mean, listen, any of the at Pittsburgh. I mean, listen, if they start out the season 2-0, I have them beating Cincinnati and then losing to Pittsburgh right off the bat.
Right.
So they're 1-1. That's a swing game. Those are one of those big ones where who knows if Russell Wilson pulls that out his ass.
They will not go to Pittsburgh and beat Steelers.
No, but I mean, yes, I don't think so either. But if they start out 2-0, then my 6-10 looks a little bleak.
Yeah.
So that one's right off the bat that I see. And then the at Cleveland Week 6, that's another one that they can turn that into a positive and beat Cleveland. You never know on that. Those are swing games that if they turn the other way, you can go. Man, I'll say this till I'm blue in the face because I'm 100% correct. You can go from 6-10 to 10-6 to 9-7 within a couple of minutes left in the games.
Right. That's 100%. That's 100%
Right.
correct. My swing game is that Week 4 game at Arizona Cardinals. If they win this game, I think they will go 9-7, like obviously. But if they lose that game, I would be right there with you on the 6-10 because because that momentum train is a very, very powerful train that you're going to be riding after a big Arizona road win within their conference, or I should say a division game. So staying in the same division, last year's champions, the LA Rams.
Yep.
Let's go ahead and break them down real fast here. Week 1, they're at Carolina. You have them already losing to Carolina. I had
Yes.
them beating Carolina. The Saints, we have them both beating.
That's a huge game, Week 1. I mean,
Yes.
that's one of those ones, and it's a noon game too. But that's a big one.
Yeah. The one thing that scares me about that game, it is a noon game on East Coast, so that's what 9 o'clock in
Yeah.
California.
Yeah.
So, and you do have Carolina winning that game, and
Yes,
their
Week 1.
coach Riviera has come out and said that Cam Newton will be ready for Week 1. So we'll see what
Yeah,
happens.
can't wait to.
That
Yeah,
might be
can't
the
wait to
game of the
watch
week.
this one.
Yeah. So Week 2, they're at home, take on the Saints. We had them both beating the Saints,
Yes.
giving us a Week 3 matchup versus the Cleveland Browns. You have them losing to the Browns, and I have them beating the Browns. Week 4.
Sunday night football.
Yep. Week 4, we have them both beating the Bucks. This is a Week 5 here. We just picked a Seattle game. Who did you pick
Right.
in this game?
I think I have Seattle winning this one. It's one of their wins.
Yep. So you had them losing to the Seahawks. I had them losing to the Seahawks as well. Week 6, we have them both beating San Fran. Week 7, you had them losing to Atlanta. I had them beating Atlanta. Finally, we get to pick a game. Week number 8, Cincinnati Bengals at home. Who do you got?
I think they're going to be coming off a loss here against the Atlanta Falcons, and they're going to absolutely destroy Cincinnati. Like I said, Cincinnati's one of my 4-12 teams or whatever. Yeah, the Cincinnati be bad this year.
Yeah, I have them throttling Cincinnati too, catapulting them into a bye week. Coming off the bye week, that's week 10, traveling to
Mm.
Pittsburgh to take on the Steelers.
Steelers will win this game. It'll be the main game at 4:25. Everybody will be watching. Yeah, Pittsburgh's going to be much improved this year. I don't think Pittsburgh's going to miss the playoffs like they did last year. And I don't think the Rams are good, but I don't think they're going to have this unbelievable record. They're going to come back down to earth a little bit. They're still going to make the playoffs, but they're not going to be this 13-3 juggernaut.
Yeah, I have them
So yeah,
losing to Steelers as well. It's going to be tough going into Pittsburgh this season and beating the
yeah.
Steelers. They have a lot to prove with losing Le'Veon Bell and Antonio Brown last season. Getting us a Week 11 matchup, take on the Chicago Bears at home. Who do you got?
The Rams will beat Chicago. This is going to be one of those matchups that this is also a night game. This might be Saturday. This is Sunday Night Football. Excuse me. This is a big one. I mean, Chicago at LA. Yeah, here we go. This is a good one. Khalil Mack's got his ears pinned. Get to Jared Goff. This is gonna be fun to watch.
Yeah, I do have the Rams beating this team, beating the Bears because I don't think the Bears are going to be that good. I think Mitchell Trubisky is kind of in the Lamar Jackson tier 3 type of quarterback.
Yeah.
Rank.
You know that we haven't talked about that much. You kind of. I mean, I think I don't think Mitchell Trubisky is elite, but he's not Lamar Jackson. He doesn't have those accuracy issues like Lamar Jackson does. Mitchell Trubisky is he's one of those where you can win a Super Bowl with him, but you got to have everything going your way.
Right.
So he is a step above. You would agree than Lamar Jackson. He's he's better.
Yes.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
I still think he's a tier 3 quarterback.
Okay.
So, but he's on the
That's
top of
fair.
tier 3. Top of tier 3.
That's fair.
So, giving us a week 12 matchup at home, take on the Baltimore Ravens. Who do you got?
Damn, are they giving the Rams a bunch of night games? This is another night, Monday Night Football, Baltimore, and the Rams will beat Baltimore.
Yeah, I had them beating Baltimore as well. Not because of Lamar Jackson, not because of the Todd Gurley or not like whoever they have in the backfield, because of the crowd. That crowd's going to be rocking Monday night.
Mark Ingram from the Saints is the new Baltimore Raven running back.
Right, which is a great pickup for them.
Yeah, it is.
By the way, give us a Week 13 matchup, a division rivalry, traveling to Arizona, take on the Cardinals. Who do you got?
Man, I forgot who. I probably have the Rams winning this game. I think the Rams go on a little run here.
Yeah, I have them beating Arizona as well. Arizona's trash, and they're catching fire right at the right time. Getting us a Seattle Seahawks matchup again. Let's see, who do you have? You have the Rams winning this game.
Another night game for the Rams, prime time. Man, if you were just a fan of the Rams, they have about 8-9 games on prime time.
Right, which they should. I mean, they went 13-3 this like this past year. They should be on TV all the time.
Right.
I do have the Rams beating Seattle as well. It is a home game, and it's kind of a must-win situation here, battling for that number 1 overall seed in the playoffs here. Week number 15, they're at the Cowboys. We already have them both losing to the Cowboys. Week 16 at San Francisco, both losing to the 49ers. Gives us a Week 17 matchup at home, taking on the Cardinals. Who do you got?
What is my record with them right now?
You should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 7. Is that right?
I thought I had 9. I'm thinking 9, but
let me look at Seattle. I forgot to
Okay.
mark the Reds here. You had them losing to Seattle that week. Yeah, 8 wins.
okay. Well, I'm gonna have to pick up another win. I think it's gonna come down to the final game. I'm gonna have to dig another win here somewhere. Maybe winning at Seattle or something, because I have them coming down to the wire. It's the 49ers and the Rams. They're both going to finish 10-6 in terms of they'll beat Arizona on the final game, and that's going to be 49ers Rams head to head. That means who won more in their division games is going to come down to the tiebreaker situations and how did they do head to head. So one of these teams is going to be a 3 or 4 seed, and the other one's going to be a 5 or 6 seed.
So right now you do have them finishing 9 and 7. So do you want to switch that
I'm gonna
Seattle game?
I'm gonna have to flip flop either. Yeah, I'll flip flop that Seattle game. Absolutely, I'll have them beating Seattle.
So that week 5 at Seattle, you had them beating Seattle.
Yeah,
Correct.
the Rams will go. The Rams they're not going to go 13 wins, but they're not going to go to 9. They'll finish at 10-6, just like the 49ers.
Yeah, and I have the Rams going actually 12-4. I
Wow.
have I have two two streaks in here of four wins in a row, and then a streak of 3 wins in a row. Me like if they can string that together, uh, because like those are all winnable games during
Right.
those during, during those streaks. The only one that I question is the Saints, uh, but it is at home for them, so the Saints have to travel, play outdoor on the grass, etc. So that might slow their offense down a little bit. But other than that, looking at their schedule, I mean, it's it's a pretty mediocre schedule. I mean, like if you take the 49ers out of it, I mean, other than that, I mean,
Yeah.
all those games are pretty much set. Like there's no swing games. There's no games like you can circle. Well, if you win this
Yeah.
game, you'll go 13-3. If you lose this game, you'll go 10. Like I don't see a game like that on their schedule. Do you?
Well, I mean, you say easy schedule, but then you look at it. They're playing Pittsburgh and Chicago and Dallas
Yeah,
and
okay, yeah,
Cleveland.
right.
I mean,
You're right.
no, but I know what you're saying. When you glare on that thing and you see Cincinnati and Arizona and yeah, Tampa Bay, yeah, it doesn't look as daunting. Yeah, we'll see.
Yeah,
I mean, you have them dropping off one game. I've got them dropping off 3. I just don't think they can repeat it.
it's very tough to repeat a 13-3 season.
Yeah, I mean, and the films out there. I mean, yeah, they can get better in the system, but so do defenses. They get better too.
Right.
They're not just going to let you go 13-3 multiple years unless you're, Bill Belichick or something. So maybe Sean McVay is the offensive version of Bill Belichick. So we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I mean, as a fan standpoint, actually, I should say, as a Cowboys standpoint, I hope your record is more correct than mine,
Yeah.
because I would like
Right.
to see the Cowboys as a number 1 overall seed.
Right.
But even though they do have the head-to-head win, we have Dallas both beating them, so they would have
Yeah.
the head-to-head tie breaker. But I don't want to have to come
That's
down to that at all.
it. Might though. That's huge. That
Yeah.
is a huge game, December 15th.
Hmm. Yeah.
I mean that's also another. It's not considered a primetime game, but it's a 4:25 game.
It's a
Who's
primetime
not going to
game.
be?
The only game
Yeah, it's a
on
prime.
TV.
Yeah, who's not going to be watching Cowboys or Rams at Cowboys? I mean, that's
Well,
most of
honestly,
the
it's
country.
probably going to be me, because I'll be having the Cincinnati Bengals versus the Steelers on, or something. So,
Oh my God, they'll give you that. Jesus.
dude, living in southern Indiana, I almost have to become a Cincinnati fan, because that's the only games I get ever,
Oh my God.
ever. So,
Get ready to be 4-12 on that one.
speaking of which, I do get to go to a Cincinnati game this year. They're taking on the Patriots, and then I'm going to go to Nashville and see the Saints. Pretty excited about both of those
Yeah,
games.
that's a nice road trip there. Yeah.
So, guys, as always, thank you for joining us. Join us tomorrow. We got to jump back to the NFC a little bit here. We have not broken down the black and blue division yet. The Packers, the Bears, the Lions. Oh my! So, guys,
Yeah.
join us tomorrow. We're going to start with the Green Bay Packers. So, Aaron
Okay.
Rodgers, Matt LaFleur, all the good stuff. Like, comment, subscribe. Have a good day, guys. We out.
Thanks, Mike.